Have you ever wondered where it all began? Not just our world, but the very concept of gods and monsters. Today, we're journeying back to the dawn of time, to the very beginning of Greek mythology. A time before Zeus, before the Olympians, before even the Titans. This is the story of the first gods, Gaia and Uranus. Imagine, if you will, a void. An endless, formless abyss called chaos. It wasn't empty, but a swirling, chaotic mix of everything that would ever be. From this primordial soup, 5 beings emerged, the first divine entities. There was Tartarus, the deep abyss, the very pit of the underworld. There was Eros, the embodiment of love and desire, the force that would drive creation forward. And then there were Erebus, the darkness, and Nyx, the night. But most importantly for our story, from chaos came Gaia, the earth. She wasn't just a planet. She was a conscious being, the universal mother. She was the solid ground beneath our feet, the mountains, the valleys, the very foundation of existence. Alone in the vast cosmos, Gaia felt a sense of loneliness. So, through her own will, she gave birth to her equal, a being to cover her, to be her companion. This was Uranus, the sky. Uranus arched over Gaia, a vast, starry blanket. He showered her with fertile rain, and from their union, life began to flourish. Gaia, the Earth Mother, and Uranus, the Sky Father, became the first divine couple. Their love was powerful, primal, and incredibly creative. Together, they brought forth the next generation of beings, shaping the world as we know it. Their first children were not the gods you might be familiar with. They were colossal, powerful, and, to their father, monstrous. First came the 12 Titans, 6 male and 6 female. These were powerful deities like Oceanus, who personified the great world-encircling river, and Rhea, who would later become the mother of the Olympians. They were majestic, the first true rulers of the cosmos. But Gaia and Uranus's children didn't stop there. Next, Gaia gave birth to the Cyclopes, Brontes, Sterops, and Arges. These weren't just one-eyed giants. They were master craftsmen, beings of immense strength who could command thunder and lightning. They were brilliant and powerful, but their appearance was unsettling to their father, Uranus. Then came the most formidable of their children, the Hecatoncheires, or the 100-handers. Kotos, Briareos, and Gyges were giants of unimaginable power, each possessing 50 heads and 100 powerful arms. Their sheer might and chaotic appearance filled Uranus with a deep sense of dread and disgust. He looked upon these powerful children, the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires, and saw not his offspring, but a threat to his power. Uranus, the Sky Father, became a tyrant. He was terrified that these powerful children would one day overthrow him. So, driven by fear and vanity, he committed a terrible act. As soon as the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires were born, he took them and thrust them back into the womb of their mother. Deep within the secret places of Gaia, the earth, he imprisoned them in the depths of Tartarus, the darkest pit of the underworld, which was part of Gaia herself. Imagine the agony of Gaia. Her children, born from her, were imprisoned back within her. She groaned under the immense pressure, her body straining, her heart filled with sorrow and a growing rage. She loved all her children, the monstrous ones, just as much as the beautiful Titans. Uranus's cruelty was a betrayal she could not forgive. The pain was constant, a terrible weight she was forced to bear. This suffering ignited a spark of rebellion within the Earth Mother. She could no longer endure the tyranny of her husband. So, she devised a plan. From her own body, she forged a new, unbreakable metal adamant hand from it. She fashioned a great, jagged sickle. It was a weapon of vengeance, a tool to end her suffering and liberate her children. Gaia then gathered her other children, the 12 Titans, who still roamed free. She showed them the sickle and spoke of her pain, of their father's cruelty, and of their imprisoned brothers. "My children," she pleaded, "your father has shamed us all. Will one of you dare to punish his wickedness? Will one of you help me overthrow this tyrant?" Silence fell among the Titans. They were afraid. Uranus was their father, the all-powerful ruler of the universe. To defy him was unthinkable. Fear held them captive, all except one. The youngest of the Titans, Cronus, stepped forward. He was ambitious, cunning, and he harbored a deep resentment for his father. He looked at the sickle, at his grieving mother, and saw an opportunity. "Mother," he said, "I will do this. I am not afraid of our damnable father. He was the first to commit this shameful act, and he will pay the price." Gaia was overjoyed. She gave the great sickle to Cronus and laid out the ambush. That evening, as Uranus descended from the heavens to embrace Gaia, as he did every night, Cronus lay in wait. As the Sky Father drew close, Cronus sprang from his hiding place. With the adamantine sickle in hand, he committed the act that would change the cosmos forever. He attacked his own father, severing his connection to the earth. The act was brutal and decisive. Cronus had overthrown Uranus. From the blood that fell from the sky and splattered upon the earth, Gaia, more strange and powerful beings were born. First came the Erinyes, or the Furies, terrifying goddesses of vengeance, who would pursue and punish any who committed patricide or broke a sacred oath. Then came the Gigantes, giant, warlike beings. And finally, the Malaya, the nymphs of the ash trees, from which the shafts of spears were made. The severed parts of Uranus were cast into the sea. As they drifted on the waves, a white foam began to churn around them. And from that divine sea foam, a new deity arose, fully grown and breathtakingly beautiful. This was Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and desire, born from the violent end of the first divine rule. With Uranus defeated, Cronus became the new king of the cosmos. He and his Titan siblings took control, ushering in what is known as the Golden Age. But Cronus's first act as ruler was one of betrayal. Instead of freeing his brothers, the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires, as he had promised his mother, he left them imprisoned in Tartarus. He feared their power just as his father had. This act of betrayal planted the seeds for the next great conflict. Gaia, heartbroken and furious once more, prophesied that Cronus, too, would be overthrown by one of his own children, just as he had overthrown his father. This prophecy would haunt Cronus, leading him to commit his own terrible acts against his children and setting the stage for the rise of a new generation of gods, the Olympians, led by none other than his son Zeus. And that's how the world of Greek mythology truly began. Not with a peaceful creation, but with love, betrayal, rebellion, and a cosmic struggle for power. It all started with Gaia, the long-suffering Earth, and Uranus, the tyrannical sky. Their story is a powerful reminder that even in mythology, the greatest conflicts often begin within the family. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the dawn of the gods. If you enjoyed this dive into the primal myths, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next story. What part of this creation myth surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.